Hello everyone and welcome back to the Very Cold Lasagna podcast, your filthy casual place for all the filthy casual takes on the world of sports. I am DylanLasagna. Welcome to episode number 138 of this icy yet spicy podcast on the world of sports. Today we got a good show for you all because, well, we just wrapped up what a crazy WrestleMania weekend. Yes, in the world of WWE. Well, for all of you that aren't sure what WrestleMania was or is, think of it like the season finale of your favorite show or the show you're watching. Or for all of you sports fans out there, the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, the World Cup, the World Series of professional wrestling. That's what WrestleMania is, ladies and gentlemen. We just wrapped up WrestleMania, the 39th edition of it, in Los Angeles, in SoFi Stadium. And I gotta say, that was one hell of a show. It was like a really good WrestleMania. And that's what we're here talking about today. My late, out-of-date WrestleMania 39 review. And like I said, a really good show for a show going in. Not much of a good build going into it. Most of the matches didn't have a lot of good groundwork, story development going into it outside of what, 3 matches going in. Yeah, but obviously the build was kind of thrown the wayside because the actual show was pretty impressive. Pretty dang good. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. And more importantly, if you guys caught it on Twitter or you watched it on the W Network on Peacock, for those of you that are watching or listening to this podcast, I was there. I was at WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I, Very Cold Lasagna, went to Hollywood. I went Hollywood. Went to Los Angeles for that weekend and attended WrestleMania, my second ever WrestleMania. And I'm going to get into my full thoughts on my experience being at WrestleMania 39. But I got to say, it was a really good fun time being down in Los Angeles and mocking the fans of the LA Rams. And I don't, not necessarily the Chargers though, because we didn't get a lot of time. I didn't get a lot of time to do that. But anyway, I'm going to talk about my full experience as well, being down at SoFi Stadium and, yeah, being there in person for WrestleMania last weekend. But first things first, a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Obviously, you know what to do. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you're watching this on YouTube, and leave a like, leave a comment, do all the good work. I really appreciate all of you that have been checking out the YouTube channel, subscribing, leaving feedback. It has been great. It has been really awesome that you guys have been doing that. And another thing, thank you all so much for a really cool NFL season recap month. We've just wrapped that up, and the viewership, the growth has increased. Not like a substantial amount, but it is slowly starting to creep up. It started to come together with views, subscribers. I mean, I'm not worried so much about that, but obviously the growth is starting to match up and align together. It's equal. It's equal per se. Where it needs to be, where I want it to be, and where it should be for each and every one of us. So I really want to say thank you to all of you that watch my content, listen to the episodes. I really appreciate you all. And then for all the audio listeners out there, make sure to check out Very Cold Lasagna on every audio platform that it's available on, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on both of the available offerings, whether it's regular Spotify or Spotify for podcasters, RIP Anchor FM, and Google Podcasts. So also follow the show on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at Very Cold Lasagna. And yeah, Very Cold Lasagna is going to continue to roll here. aside from this episode talking about WrestleMania, I'm hoping to get out some of my live reactions from the show, like a little bit of a vlog going up in the next couple of days. Hopefully I can get through literally all the footage that I compiled together from that weekend and post it up on the YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. And I'm not sure if I want to do NFL draft coverage this year, but we'll see. Stay tuned for that. I'm still trying to settle down from NFL season recap month. I just wrapped that up, and I just came back from LA WrestleMania. And it's like there's a lot of stuff I'm still working on here, and I'm just trying to see what's up with the NFL draft. Like, I honestly, outside of the quarterbacks, I literally don't know what the hell is going on with this draft. Aside from the quarterbacks, Carolina trading up for the number 1 overall pick, it's like I really don't know what's going on. I really don't. But maybe after this WrestleMania stuff cools down, and of course all this craziness with like Vince McMahon, maybe we'll talk about. I'll talk a little bit about the NFL draft leading up to it. But that being said, let's talk about some WrestleMania, shall we? Let's get down to the grit and grind of this, huh? So WrestleMania 39 took place in Los Angeles, California, in the home of SoFi Stadium, home of the LA Rams and the Chargers. But, like I said, going into this event, there wasn't a lot of hype. There wasn't a lot of excitement because the build didn't really match up to its name, WrestleMania. It felt like WWE was breezing by through this event outside of like a couple of big matches. Those matches being pretty much everything revolving around that Samoan family, the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, the Usos, and Solo Sikoa. The whole Bloodline going up against Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and the winner of the 2023 Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes. So all of those three men were going up against the Bloodline. We're going up against the Bloodline in two different matches. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens going up against the Usos in probably the biggest tag team matchup in WrestleMania history. And then Roman Reigns going up against Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed WWE title in a big WrestleMania main event. So it was a really big match. Like two really big WrestleMania matches that we're going to define how this weekend was going to turn out and whether or not it was going to live up to the hype. Then you also had a couple other matches on the card that were also of importance, like the father and son matchup that was literally months in the making between Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. And then for those that are more interested, you also had the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Charlotte Flair and the challenger, the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match this year, Rhea Ripley. And then you also had a celebrity match. Seth Rollins going up against YouTube sensation Logan Paul, who has actually been very impressive in the three matches that he's had in his year-long WWE run. So, obviously, yeah, WWE has these high expectations going in for WrestleMania, even though the bar was set relatively low with the build. Because, well, yeah, like I said, they were sleepwalking throughout this whole prelude to Mania, and well, they couldn't really get the big Hollywood the big names to live up to its billing. WrestleMania goes Hollywood, because, well, a lot of this event, to be honest with you, was supposed to be centered around The Rock, Roman Reigns versus The Rock initially, and I personally wanted that. Everyone wanted that, but unfortunately, they couldn't get The Rock because, well, he's busy doing movies and then promoting the XFL and I guess he was also concerned about trying to get ring shape in time with all his commitments. And then now we find out he's doing a live action remake of Moana. Like, why? Why, Rocky? But anyway, aside from that, yeah, this WrestleMania, I don't know. You were about to find out if it was really going to live up to its name of going Hollywood. But did it really need to go Hollywood? We shall see. So, we start with the first night. Yes, it's 2 nights, ladies and gentlemen, rather than one whole night of the best. But I digress. So we start with night 1 of WrestleMania on April Fool's Day, and this is no April Fool's joke. So this is night 1. You start with Becky G singing "America the Beautiful," pretty good rendition, and then you have Kevin Hart doing the intro, pretty good opening intro. The narrator bashing him and all that, and then you kick off the show with The Miz, the Jizz. With Snoop Dogg opening up the show, hyping the fans up, and then you start with the opening match, the United States Championship match between Austin Theory and John Cena. And John Cena is out to prove that Theory can't handle the heat. He can't handle the spotlight and all that because he's just a young boy. And for this match, though, because I guess Cena was like busy with all his film commitments and all that. It didn't really have a lot of luster to it. I mean, the match itself was okay, but the build up to it was not so great. But when you get to this actual match between Cena and Austin Theory to kick off WrestleMania, it was fine. It was fine for what it was. When you had John Cena come out with the Make-A-Wish Foundation kids, that was a pretty cool moment to have. When I was out there in the crowd, they loved it. They absolutely loved it. I think I was the only one that sing John Cena rocks and all that. There wasn't really a noticeable like, you know, how some people chanting John Cena sucks back in the day. There was none of that. None of that on Saturday night. So that was a pretty cool moment for everybody involved. But much of this match was pretty slow, and yeah, it didn't really get into another gear. Theory was like dominating Cena with like heel tactics, like biting Cena's ear, biting his fingers to get out the STFU, and pretty much doing all these dirty tactics to stop Cena from getting any momentum to rally. You know, Cena did have his signature Super Cena comeback, but honestly, that was pretty much it other than that, because Austin Theory would low blow Cena behind the referee's back and hit A-Town down as finisher to retain the United States Championship. I'm like, wow. I was like, Cena really lost that decisively? Yeah, sure. It was like dirty and all that, but it's like, that felt really quick. Like, it was, sure, the official match time was like 11 minutes or something, but it's like, that was really quick on how Cena lost that match. Because, like, as soon as, like, Cena came out and all that, and, like, when they had that match, it was like, oh, here comes the ending. Just like that. So, I mean, for Austin Theory, it's like, I don't know if this means really that much to him, for him. Because, literally, when you get to the next night on Raw, it's like, and he beats Rey Mysterio, and it's not even a title match. I mean, it's kind of like that same Austin Theory was just like, oh, it's like, I'm Austin Theory, I'm the guy, I'm the future of WWE and all that. It's like, so what? So I don't know, man. I mean, it was a fine match, but it's just like, it didn't really do much to elevate Austin Theory. I mean, yeah, he beat John Cena, but it's like, I'm not sure if it's gonna do anything long term. So, yeah, that was your opening match. I mean, cool moment for John Cena during his entrance, but it's like, it is what it is. It's like kind of like what we've seen during the match on Raw, from Cena back in the day. But we did get a fun little showcase match between the Street Profits, Alpha Academy, the Viking Raiders, and the team of Ricochet and Braun Strowman. Now, going in, obviously, this kind of looked like a match that was thrown together because, well, we had to get everybody on the WrestleMania card. But it still felt that way. This was actually a pretty fun matchup. Everyone with the time that they were given, they made the most of it. They made it really chaotic. There were like some pretty cool spots in there, like Chad Gable giving Braun Strowman a German suplex, and then Braun Strowman and Ivar trying to attempt these high flying moves, and then I think he had Angelo Dawkins like trucking Braun Strowman when he was trying to do the Strowman Express around the running around the ring, and then you had that Tower of Doom move with Ricochet like flying onto everybody. It was like it was crazy, like how much was happening during that match. It was just like craziness. And then the Street Profits within the matchup after Montez Ford hit a frog splash on Ricochet. So, it was a pretty fun match. After kind of it was not really much of a downer of the opening match, but hey, it warmed everybody up. In that second match. Now the Street Profits did compete against the tag team champions on Monday. And you thought that would be for the tag team championships. But no, it wasn't, and they lost. But more on the tag team champions in a bit. So we get to the third match of night one, and that was Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. And man, this match was really dang good. So you had Logan Paul come out with this best Shawn Michaels impersonation with the WrestleMania 12 zip line. And then he got accompanied by the mascot of his sponsored drink, Prime. Like, oh boy. I thought initially, like at the time, like who's going to be under there? Who's going to be in that, under that mascot? I was thinking Jake Paul, his brother, was going to be there. Meanwhile, you had Seth Rollins come out with the conductor orchestrating the crowd into singing his theme song like, whoa, oh. Yeah, they were doing all that. I mean, it's whatever. They could sing that theme song, but what I didn't like was Seth Rollins' continued fashion choices. I mean, at this point, I'm not even gonna I don't even know why I keep continuing to keep commenting on it, because Seth Rollins just continues to look stupider, man. He's just ridiculous. And you know what? If he wants to do that, that's fine. It's just life. But I also want to say that it's my right to say that it's dumb. It is dumb. But hey, it's his life. He can do whatever he wants with his fashion choices, okay? All right. But back to this match. This is a really good match that continued to show Logan Paul's his athleticism, his skill, his improvement. He hits a lot of moves really well. And he can dictate the pace of the match so easily. A key point in the match was Seth Rollins curb stomping Logan Paul's knockout hand. Keep in mind, Logan Paul was punching the lights out of Seth in 2 consecutive weeks, and with that knockout hand being a key factor in this matchup, it's damn. It's that's gonna be heavily reduced. But even though Logan Paul did knock out Seth Rollins at one point in this match, it's he can't get the win because he hurt his hand. Seth Rollins hurt his hand. It's fuck, I can't cover him. So Rollins tried to go for a curb stomp on Logan, but the Prime mascot pulled Logan out of the ring at the right time. And then when Logan was gonna praise him for saving him, out was revealed KSI. The KSI, the YouTuber. Everyone was just what the fuck? I thought it was going to be Jake Paul, but instead it's KSI. I'm like, so random. This was so random. So anyway, they were gonna try to put Seth Rollins through the announce table. Logan Paul like spat out his energy drink, but he was so distracted by that while KSI was filming it, Rollins instead dragged KSI, and then Logan splashed onto KSI through the announce table. And then after a couple of near falls, Seth reversed Logan's attempt at Shane McMahon's coast to coast and hit one last curb stomp to get the win and get his revenge on Logan Paul. Man, what a match. That was really good. And I didn't expect KSI to be in that match. Like, I don't know, a lot of people didn't expect that either, but it was like the fact that it was just so random to have KSI and Logan Paul together. That's insane. That was really insane. But that was a fun that was a really fun match in the third spot. The fourth match, we had Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch, the Team Good Girls, go up against Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Shirai. Trish, Lita, and Becky had like this cinematic intro, like one of those movies, like superhero movies, where they were depicted as the good girls taking down the bad guys, which was Damage Control. I mean, it was kind of a match where it kind of like went on longer than it needed to. But I mean, it was nice to see Trish and Lita in person, live, and my God, man. My God. I'm sorry. I need to control myself. Now. Anyway, towards the end, the two teams brawled with each other, and Team Good Girls overpowered Damage Control. They took out the bad girls with their finishers. Io got taken out with Lita's Suicide Fate. Dakota Kai taken out with Trish's Chick Kick, and then Bayley got taken out by Becky Lynch's Avalanche Rock Bottom off the turnbuckle. That sealed the win for Team Good Girls. So, I mean, it was an okay match. A lot of people used it to go to the bathroom or something, but I mean, hey, it was good to see Trish and Lita live in person. Interestingly enough, though, 2 days later on Raw, on the Raw after Mania, Dakota and Io Shirai, they didn't have Bayley with them in their tag team #1 contenders match with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And I'm just wondering, like, where was Bayley? I mean, there were like rumors, speculation saying that, she was supposed to be with Dakota and Io, but they got cut. Or maybe it's like they're gonna split up Bayley from Dakota and Io, or maybe she's leaving. I don't know. Either way, like regardless, like, yeah, you gotta permanently disband Damage Control because, well, it never should have been a group to begin with. Anyways, we got perhaps one of my match of WrestleManias, my contenders for WrestleMania matches. I don't know I can't put it into words. Your contender for favorite WrestleMania matches of the weekend. There you go. Rey versus Dominic Mysterio. Like, my God, this was so damn good. Like, from the entrances, from the storytelling, from how well Dominic did against his father. Like, it was so impressive. Like, it was so impressive. Like, some of my favorite parts of this match was, like, obviously the entrances, because Dominic took his whole prison, like, cocky gimmick to another level. Like, WWE really outdid it with them, because I really guess Dominic had to spend another hour or so in prison, because he got escorted by the LA County Police Department, and they really showed like him getting out of prison during his entrance. So that was probably one of my favorite entrances of WrestleMania. So they showed him getting escorted by the LA County Police Department, and they really played up as if he was trying to be Will Ferrell's character from Get Hard. And add to the fact that he wore his own Rey Mysterio mask as well. And he got a lot of heat for that. Everyone was shitting on him in the crowd. And he dumped it too. So it was like, fuck, man. He got hated so bad. And I was questioning him. I was even questioning out loud. It's like, you're never gonna last in San Quinn. You're never gonna last in San Quinn. You're gonna get clapped. It effed hard in San Quinn. And you know which way. So anyway, Rey Mysterio came out in one of Eddie Guerrero's signature lowriders with Snoop Dogg. And he even came out to Eddie Guerrero's Viva la Raza music. So that was an awesome tribute to Eddie. And especially considering that he was just a day removed from his Hall of Fame induction. So, by the way, congratulations to Rey Mysterio again. And Rey tried several times to put Dominic in his place, like whipping him in the ass with his belt. But Dominic just kept pushing the envelope, man. Like the stubborn asshole that he is. He threw water at his sister Aaliyah, tried to berate his mom again, just to try to take control of the match against Rey. But Rey's wife Angie finally had enough of his bullshit, slapped Dominic, and then out came Damian Priest and Finn Balor. And they tried to stop Rey from finishing the match with this 619 combo on Dominic. And out came Rey Mysterio's new Latino World Order of Legado de Fantasma. To even the score, they ran off Damian Priest and Finn Balor to the back. And Dom would hit his own 619 combo on his dad, but Rey would kick out. So Dom would resort back to dirty tricks, exposing the turnbuckle. But when the referee was caught him red-handed and tried to fix it, he elected to keister a chain from prison. Like, damn, dude. He really learned all the tricks from Get Hard. Like, keistering. I'm just kidding. He didn't actually do that. He brought a chain, like, from his entrance. But Bad Bunny, who was on Spanish commentary, stopped him and stopped Dominic from using the chain. Rey hit the 619 for the win. And yeah, it was a really good match that had a lot of drama, great storytelling from all involved. I don't mind Dominic losing this match because, well, like, he felt he had every right to feel screwed because, well, if going back to Monday Night Raw, after Mania, he got his revenge on both Rey and Bad Bunny because, well, with some help from Damian Priest, it sets the stage for, well, what could be another big tag team match at Backlash with Damian Priest going up against Rey and Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico. So overall, man, this is a match that whether you're a fan of wrestling or not, you gotta watch it. You have to watch this match. So, in contrast, though, matches that you shouldn't be watching, it's the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Now, if you're a fan of either of these women, I mean, I get it, it's totally fine. But I was bored out of my mind with this matchup. Like, seriously. Like, I don't understand. People were, like, overhyping this match. They were getting all excited about it. And here I was sitting in my seat for, like, it felt like it was, like, 20 to 30 minutes. And I was just like, dude, nothing is happening. Like, they're just hitting bunch of false finish power moves on each other. So that was just me this whole time. And, like, people were like, it took them a long ass time for people to wake up. Like, people were just sitting on their hands the whole time. And I was just sitting on my hands, like, throughout the whole match. So anyway, Rhea wins the match. She managed to escape the figure 4, and preventing Charlotte from locking in the figure 8. And she hit this nasty ass German suplex on Charlotte, who landed on her head. I think she tried to flip out of it, but she landed on her head instead. And then she finished off Charlotte Flair with the super riptide off the turnbuckle and wins the SmackDown Women's title and managed to avenge her WrestleMania 36 loss in the process as well. So there you go. Rhea Ripley is SmackDown Women's Champion, but I mean, this match was overrated. Very overrated. So to cool down the fans from an overrated SmackDown Women's title match that they've just seen, Miz and Snoop Dogg were back in the ring to announce the attendance for night 1, which was, I think, 80,000 something, or 81,000. I don't remember. I think it was around 80,000. But after announcing that, Snoop Dogg reminded The Miz of an open challenge that he had put out on social media. And The Miz was like, yeah, I'm a man of the people. I have an open challenge, but I was like, I'm not ready to compete in this $10,000 suit. But Snoop Dogg was insisting on that open challenge, and that brought out Pat McAfee, and that woke me up. That certainly brought me up to my feet. It may not have brought other people to their feet in SoFi, because they just witnessed an incredible SmackDown Women's Championship match, but it certainly brought up to my feet. So it was nice to see Pat McAfee back, and we got to see a very cool moment when The Miz provoked 49ers tight end George Kittle in Levi's South, mind you, and that led to George Kittle attacking The Miz as McAfee finished off The Miz with a punt to win a nice little fiddle match. So that was a nice match, impromptu matchup. Good to see Pat McAfee again, and I feel like it is going to be a long while until we see him again. But whenever we get to see him again, it's gonna be nice. It is gonna be nice. Hopefully, he continues to stay in ring shape. If you ever want to have another match in WWE, hopefully at some point. I know he's a busy man now. He commentates at least a couple more episodes of SmackDown, but if not, I mean, I understand. But it was also a good homage for us 49ers fans in whose house? So not Rams' house. Not Rams' house. Not, even after they won a Super Bowl. Certainly not. So then, of course, we have the big main event. No, not the SmackDown Women's title match. No. Perhaps the biggest tag team matchup in the history of WrestleMania. And that is, of course, the Undisputed Tag Team Championship match between the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This was big. This was going to be a big fight feel. And it most certainly was. This was a very big matchup that I'd say it lived up. It really lived up to its name. Like everyone was feeling up for the Usos, but everyone was most certainly fired up for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They started off a little bit slow, but things started really picking up when the Usos began dominating Kevin Owens, dominating Sami Zayn. They even put Kevin Owens through a table with this double slam through the announce table, and then they just feasted on Sami Zayn for a large portion of the match. And you even saw at one point Jey Uso hit his own version of a haluva kick, and then the Usos later hit a 1D on Zayn, but Zayn managed to kick out. He actually managed to kick out of the 1D, which brought everyone to their feet. And then the Sami KO rallied back, and eventually, when they started fighting each other, the Zayn and Owens overpowered them And it seemed like, you know, they were on the verge of winning this match. Kevin Owens hits the Pop-Tart powerbomb on both Usos, and then Sami Zayn was gonna finish off Jey Uso. And this is a very good execution. That rather than have finished off Jimmy, he finishes off Jey. He hits the haluva kick 2 times, and after each time, he was holding Jey for a good amount of time. He's like, I didn't want to do this to you, but you made me do it. Like you made me do this. You made your choice. You could have joined me in the battle against Roman, but you didn't. So you dug your grave. And then, while he was about to get the 3rd haluva kick, Kevin Owens stunned Jimmy, and then with a big smile on his face, Sami Zayn gave one last haluva kick to his former ally, friend, brother, Jey, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were the new tag team champions to close out night 1. And man, that was a really good match, a really good capper to a year's worth of storytelling. Like, let's part 1 of a year's worth of storytelling. Like, from Sami Zayn joining the Bloodline, and then betraying Kevin Owens, and then getting kicked out of the Bloodline, asking Kevin Owens for help, refusing that help, and then the two finally coming together and then finally doing battle with the Usos, winning that battle. Really masterful. And in the main event, well, at least of night 1 of WrestleMania. Pretty dang good stuff right there. So overall, I mean, I'd say night 1 had a lot of good matches for the most part. Like a lot of quality good stuff. That was gonna make night 2 hard to follow, man. It's gonna really make night 2 hard to follow. Like, you had a lot of good stuff. Like, the men's showcase was actually fun. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul was really good. Ray Dominic was really good. I mean, for those people that really liked it, I guess. The SmackDown was title match, I guess. I mean, for some at least. And a really good main event. So, night 1 was once again, for the second straight year, was absolutely that damn good. It was absolutely pretty damn good. But what about night 2? We still had a second night of WrestleMania for reasons, for money. So what about night 2? How is it going to live up to night 1? Could it match night 1? Was it going to slug a bit? Was it going to outdo it? Well, let's shift down to another day of WrestleMania. So we're back for another night of WrestleMania. Night 2 took place on April 2nd. Fans are back at SoFi Stadium for another round of wrestling to cap off the weekend. And man, people were in store for what was gonna be a tough act to follow after a crazy and wild night 1, especially after that main event. But here we are. Night 2 is gonna have a closer, a big time closer in the Undisputed Championship match. But obviously, we still had a full card to go through. So you open the show with country singer Jimmy Allen singing "America the Beautiful." This was a pretty good rendition of that song. I mean, Becky G also did good as well, but I felt like Jimmy Allen just did a tad stronger on this rendition. So after America the Beautiful, after another cold open from Kevin Hart, recapping the event of night 1, we see Miz the Jizz, the host of WrestleMania, again with Snoop Dogg, getting everybody hyped up. And then after that, we see the opening match between Brock Lesnar and Omos. And when you see my reactions from night 2, I mentioned this, like, might as well get the worst of the worst out of the way, because this was perhaps like the worst, the most poorly booked match on the WrestleMania card, because it's like, really? This is what they're having Brock Lesnar do at WrestleMania? Like, him versus, like, Omos? I mean, like, not to blame Omos because, like, it's not his fault that, like, he's been limited in terms of, like, wrestling ability, but I mean, and character-wise, but it's just like, man, this is really what they can do with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? Not another match with Bobby Lashley with a stipulation? But it is what it is. So, but when you get to the actual match, though, this is actually not bad. This is actually not bad. Maybe we were too judgmental on it, because Omos actually makes Brock Lesnar have a competitive match. So, like, he was, like, dominating Lesnar, had to bulldoze, trying to bulldoze and bull rush his way on Omos, but Omos was having none of it. He kept slamming Lesnar to the ground. He bear hugged him, but eventually, Brock Lesnar found a way to German suplex, take Omos to Suplex City, and then, well, it gave out his back a little bit. He eventually found a way to lift up Omos, hit the F5, and everyone's like crazy surprised. And then 1, 2, 3, Omos was defeated by Brock Lesnar. So, yeah, this was a pretty decent match. I mean, obviously the big thing was, could Brock Lesnar lift Omos, hit an F5, and win the match? So mission accomplished, I guess. And yeah, like this is a pretty decent match to kick off the show. So yeah, good for them. Then you had the Women's Showcase Fatal 4-Way. It's pretty much where the men's were at this point, but now it's the women's turn. You had the team of Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya, Shotzi Blackheart, and then the other team of Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, and Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Now, in contrast to the men's side, however, this match was, not really that as great as the men's side. But I will say, it was nice to see Liv Morgan, Chelsea Green, and Ronda Rousey in person, though. Like, man, gotta chill though. Anyway, Liv Morgan almost got the win with the Codebreaker and the Oblivion combo. But Shayna Baszler, as Liv was setting up the Oblivion, tagged in and took out Liv Morgan after Oblivion on Shotzi Blackheart. And Ronda Rousey came in, locked in the armbar on Shotzi, and tapped her out. So Shayna won the Women's Showcase, and seemingly looked on the warpath for a women's tag team title match. But the next night on Raw, it didn't seem like they were gonna get one, because Liv and Raquel won a tag team title match against Becky and Lita for next week on Raw. So it's like, huh? But I think from what I'm reading online is that both Ronda and Shayna are dealing with injuries. So, oof. And if that's the case, then like, why have them win the match? That's an interesting call right there. So then you have the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. Like, oh my God, this match was so damn good. If you want a match of the night right here, or a match of WrestleMania week right here, it's either this, Dom versus Ray, or maybe even the Undisputed Championship match. But this match was a show stealer right here. This match was hard hitting. It was red chested. It was so physical. All three men were hitting each other so hard, you could hear it in SoFi Stadium. They were slapping each other, hitting each other so hard. Like it was amazing. It was so damn good. Like, there were also times where you thought Gunther was gonna lose. It would have been cool to see Sheamus win his first Intercontinental Championship. But hey, Like, you can't complain of how well all three of these wrestlers did. So it seemed like either Sheamus or Drew were gonna win the Intercontinental Championship after they took out Gunther, and they were battling each other, but they were trading. Sheamus was trading bro kicks with Drew. Drew McIntyre was trading claymores with Sheamus, and then they were fighting each other in the ring. But then moments towards the end of the match, when Sheamus hit one last bro kick, and he was so tired to cover. When he eventually came so tired to cover for Drew, when the ref reached that 2 count, out of nowhere came a flying Gunther and splashed onto both of them. And then he suddenly got that second win, hit a powerbomb on Sheamus onto Drew, and then hit another powerbomb onto Drew McIntyre and won the match and retained the Intercontinental Championship. Like, it was an amazing match. Like you'll learn so much more when you see my live reactions, but it was physical. It's hard hitting. It was a lot of slaps. It was very physical. Like, oh my God. Like, Gunther, like, holy hell. Seeing how much he transformed, like, it's awesome to see. It's awesome to behold. Like, not right now, at least, maybe in another year or so, I could totally see him being a main event player, in maybe a year's time, like, maybe. But either way, this was a great match and potential WrestleMania, like, overall match. So anyway, next matchup, we got the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair taking on Asuka. Now, this match was, like, going in, there wasn't really much of a story to tell. Asuka won the Elimination Chamber matchup to get this title match against Bianca Belair, but other than that, they didn't really give any substance as to why fans should care about it. Like, especially new fans. Like, you have this face painted Japanese warrior facing, like, the champion that claims to be the bestest, the EST of WWE, but it's just like, why should people care? And especially for a champion that's been a champion for 365 days, a full year exactly, but their title reign's been so stale. So it's like, it was hard to understand. But anyway, the match itself, I mean, it was pretty meh. It's just like the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It's like, and there wasn't really much of a doubt that Bianca was gonna lose this match. I mean, sure, Asuka locked in the Asuka lock, but then Bianca lifted her up and then hit the KOD. But actually reverse that. Asuka tried to go for the green mist, but then the referee caught her, and Bianca dodged it, and then that led to Bianca hitting the KOD and then winning the match. So, yeah, that was unfortunate for Asuka, and that made me think, like, what was the point of her transforming into this, like, new psychotic version of her? So it's like, huh. That was, like, kind of pointless. But either way, it's just like, yeah, Bianca's still the Raw Women's Champion. Is there really anyone else that could challenge her at this point? Because looking at the list of contenders, it's like, not really much anyone. Maybe they finally unified the titles, the women's titles, with her and Rhea Ripley having a match, building that down later down the line. But outside of that, it's just like, there isn't really much for Bianca to do now. Like, really. There isn't much. So then you get another segment with The Miz and Snoop Dogg. And man, I feel so bad for everybody involved in this. So they're back to announce the night 2 attendance, which was 81,000 around. And so you get a total attendance of about 161,000 total for SoFi Stadium. So it's like a new cumulative attendance record at SoFi. So yeah, Obviously, it outdoes the Super Bowl, outdoes like other concerts. We'll see how it does compared to like future events like the World Cup and the Olympics. Probably like gets beaten by those in due time because they're like longer events. But anyway, once again, Snoop Dogg has another surprise for The Miz, and it's Shane McMahon. Like, yeah, I was down for Shane McMahon coming back because here comes the money. So here comes Shane McMahon, and it looks like they're gonna have another match with The Miz, a WrestleMania 35 rematch. For those of you that remembered, but oh man, I felt so bad for Shane because he was trying to do like a leapfrog on The Miz, like over The Miz, and then when he did the landing, his leg gave out, and I was like, oh shit, like this is so awkward. And then they were just standing around, and I thought Shane was just playing around, but then no, he's legitimately hurt because there's just like about 30 seconds in a minute or so of like nothing happening. It's like, oh man, Shane is freaking hurt. And then initially I was like, what's going on? What's going on here? But then I realized Shane is hurt. So it took a lot of people it took like a good minute to realize that, frick, what do we do here? Like, what do we do here? But good thing, good job of Snoop Dogg to come in and improvise on the freaking fly and punch out The Miz twice and give the highest move in all of entertainment, the doggy elbow. I called it the people's elbow in my reaction, but it's like, frick, why didn't I call it the doggy elbow? But anyway, yeah, I feel so bad for Shane McMahon. He is confirmed he tore his quad by Triple H in the post-show presser. I was like, oh man, I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Shane McMahon. So hopefully he recovers, and I think that might be the end for Shane McMahon trying to do wrestling stuff. I mean, he's what, 53? Yeah, might be time to call it an end for Shane on Mac. I feel so bad, dude. I feel so bad. So yeah. So anyway, we get, after like a good couple minutes of stalling, we finally get a highly anticipated Hell in a Cell match between Edge and the Demon Finn Balor. So a lot of people were excited about this. I certainly was excited about this too, because you can't go wrong with Hell in a Cell, especially considering that the original design of Hell in a Cell was back, like the original color at least. Finally got rid of the red cell. Like, good God, that an eyesore. And out came Edge with this like devilish look. Like, he had this like metal mask, and then like the wings of Satan, and like it was cool. You got like Rude Edge, and then he's coming out like the devil. And obviously that was the lead in to his regular entrance. And everyone was singing along. I was singing along because why the hell not? And then out came the Demon Finn Balor, the Demon Seaman. And yeah, the matchup was underway. I will say though, for a Hell in a Cell match, it was relatively short and not a whole lot going on. I was kind of let down by it because all Edge and Finn Balor really did was utilize the cell a tad bit and use like kendo sticks and chairs. And by the way, the chairs and the kendo sticks were color coded to match Edge and Finn Balor. Like, I didn't really mind that so much. I know a lot of people were like, what the frick? You got rid of the red Hell in the Cell, but you gave like color coded weapons. I was like, what the hell are you doing? But I didn't really mind that so much. I did have a problem with like the lack of like usage with the actual Hell in a Cell structure. It's like, if you're not really going to use the Hell in a Cell, then why is this a Hell in a Cell match? So anyway, what really killed the mood though was Edge throwing a ladder at Finn Balor and the match having to be stopped because Finn Balor was bleeding. Like, dude, like, really, you have to stop the match. You have to stop the match to tend to Finn Balor's wound. It's like, you can't have a little bit of color in this matchup. Like, really? Because of, like, what, sponsors? Like, dude, like, I get it. Like, you have to keep it, like, hey, gee, you're a publicly traded company. Like, but dude, just for one night, fuck the sponsors. Like, I know it's not that easy, but, like, screw the sponsors for just at least one night. Like, can't we have a little bit of blood in this one personal-ish feud between the Judgment Day and Edge? Especially ran into the storyline. How they made it so personal on Edge. Like, come on, man. It literally killed the flow of the whole match. Like, everyone was just wondering, like, what the hell's happening here? I was wondering what the hell was happening there because I was like sitting there on the floor, several rows back. I was like, what's going on? But anyway, once the match did resume, you really had a couple minutes of not so much offense, but then you did have a cool moment where Finn Balor was climbing up to the top of the cell, the inside of the cell, climb up the cage, the cell walls inside, like he was Spider-Man. And then he tried to go for the coup de grace. He did it, but then he missed the mark on Edge, and then he landed through the table. So I was like, damn. That was actually a pretty cool moment, but I didn't see that he missed Edge through the table. So that allowed Edge to hit the spear on Balor, and then he finished off Finn Balor with the red concerto to finish the match, finish off Balor, and win Hell in a Cell. So, I mean, I'd say it's still a pretty solid match, but I was just let down by the fact that it was pretty short, like less than 20 minutes, and then I was kind of let down by the fact that they didn't utilize the cell all that much, aside from like Balor like climbing up the cell like and trying to do his finisher onto Edge, and they used a good chunk of that match just to treat Finn Balor's bleeding wound. Like, man, get that stuff out of here, dude. Like, get it out of here. Like, that's not cool at all. Like just let it play out. Like, let that stuff play out. Let him, like, maybe it got so bad. I know maybe it did get so bad that they had to treat it like they had to completely treat it. But it's like, don't like let him show a little bit of color. Let him show a little bit of color. But anyway, Edge wins, gets his redemption over the Judgment Day. I think I personally predicted Finn Balor to win because to get some validation, some legitimacy for the Judgment Day group. But I mean it's fine. I mean it's okay. It does pretty much kill the credibility of the Demon, if there was any left. But it's always good to see Edge win, and now he can finally move on to better things. That's not the Judgment Day. So we had the Hall of Fame class after the Hell in a Cell match, and it was nice. It was really nice to see them after I couldn't attend the Hall of Fame ceremony. It was also good to see Rey Mysterio again, especially considering that he's the headliner. So a really good moment there. But what I didn't like afterwards was like the video packages just to stall time. Like, why can't we just go to the main event? Why can't we just get to the last match? Like, yeah, we had a Hell in a Cell match, but it's like, why are we just wasting time here? Like, what's the issue here? Like, what are we waiting for? So after like what felt like 20 minutes of wasted time, we finally get to the main event. And these entrances were very long. Like, and had they just got to the point with these cut out these wasted filler, then we would have gone to the main event already. But anyway, we finally get to the main event. the Undisputed WWE Championship match between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Perhaps one of the biggest Mania world title matches pretty much in recent memory, because Roman Reigns was about to reach that point of 1,000 days as Universal Champion, and for certain, Matt WWE wanted to reach that mark, but for Cody Rhodes, he looked like the one of the last legitimate wrestlers to take the strap off of Roman, especially considering that he had a lot of red hot momentum. He had a lot of legitimate reasons to beat Roman Reigns. He was pretty much popular with all fans alike. My only concern was going into this matchup with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for Cody was that he faced absolutely no adversity, no reason of concern for his match against Roman at Mania. Like every match he would win. Like every promo, he did pretty well on the mic. I mean, yeah, he had that injury back at Hell in a Cell, and then he came back at the Royal Rumble. But after the Royal Rumble, it's like there's literally no adversity in the face of Cody. And whenever he got involved with the Bloodline, he was always standing tall. So it just leaves you wondering, it's like, is Cody literally going to end the night standing tall over Roman Reigns just like that? Or was there going to be something that stops him from finishing his story? So we're about to find out in the next half hour or so, or maybe 45 minutes, because, well, the entrances were long as fuck. So anyway, yeah, Cody Rhodes had his long entrance with the fireworks, but he did have a cool moment where with Brody Lee's son, John Huber, with the belt, giving him his weight belt. And then you had Roman Reigns' entrance where a bunch of pianists, like, piano players, not the other P word, playing his theme music. That was pretty cool. But then obviously you had Roman Reigns' long entrance, especially considering how long the entrance ramp was. And then, yeah, the match finally did get started. It felt slow at times, but it finally picked up. It finally picked up when Cody hit the Cody Cutter onto Roman. When Cody hit the Cody Cutter on Roman, but he kept getting distracted by Solo Sikoa, trying to do all these dirty tricks trying to get these dirty tricks on Cody that would allow Roman to get back on offense. And then eventually Solo got carried away too much. That the referee caught on and got Solo Sikoa ejected. So Roman Reigns was all alone. And then that's when the match really picked up. Cody Rhodes hit a Superman punch, got speared. Cody Rhodes got speared, and he even broke out the guillotine. Surprisingly, he is the first one to break out of that. So Cody Rhodes actually did hit a crossroads on Roman Reigns as well, but he kicked out of that. So it was like, damn. Both men were like wondering, what the hell do we have to do to get the win on one another? So obviously we were wondering, like, what's gonna happen next? What was gonna be the next move? And then we found out what was gonna be the next move. Oh, referee gets knocked out after Roman Reigns accidentally Superman punches them. And then ensues the shenanigans. Cody Rhodes about to hit the crossroads, but then out comes the Usos hitting a super kick on Cody, hitting the 1D as well. And then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come out fresh off the tag team title win over them, and then run them off. And then before they run off the Usos, they attack Roman and as I guess they say as defense for the Usos attacking Cody. Kevin Owens hits a stunner. Sami Zayn hits a Haluva kick, and then they go on to fight the Usos out of the arena. So Cody Rhodes hits the patented bionic elbow on Roman, and then Cody Rhodes is about to hit one last crossroads. After hitting 2 on Roman. The referee recovers, but no, the referee doesn't recover after that. Sorry, but it seems like he's about to hit a 3rd, and then that's when the referee recovers. But then Paul Heyman gets up on the apron, distracts the referee, and then when the referee is still distracted by Paul, a hidden figure comes in. Hooded man, and then once you see the thumb go up, and then that's when you know it's Solo Sikoa, Samoan Spike. And then Cody hits it. Cody gets hit by the Samoan Spike, and then that allows Roman Reigns to hit the spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns still undisputed champion. Like, holy hell. Against all odds, against pretty much like all the logic, like literally all fan optimism, Roman Reigns still undisputed champion. Like literally, I even wasn't expecting that. I really predicted that Cody Rhodes was gonna have that moment because, well, people were like, I thought WWE was gonna pull that trigger. They were gonna have Roman Reigns fall short of his 1,000-day mark, but no, they actually want to do it. They actually want to pull the trigger on Roman Reigns being the 1K champion. But I will say, they did a pretty good job of excelling, advancing the part of where Paul Heyman having that one trick up his sleeve after the Usos didn't work, after Solo Sikoa got ejected, but then wise man Paul Heyman had that one trick, and yeah, Solo did get ejected, but he came back and proved his loyalty to the wise man, to both the wise man and the tribal chief, and made Cody Rhodes vulnerable. So, man, that was pretty insane. That was a pretty insane matchup. Really good. It felt like, yeah, 2 factions going against one another. The Bloodline, and then obviously the good guys going at one another. But overall, that WrestleMania was it was a really good WrestleMania. A good night one. It was a really good night one. My favorite match of the night was Rey and Dominic. I know Usos and Sami Zayn was also a really good matchup, but I loved how well that match ended up playing out for Rey versus Dominic. And not to say that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos were good as well. I was just like so enamored by Rey versus Dominic though. And then night 2, I don't know. I just felt night 2 was, I mean, it was good too, but not to the level as night 1. The only thing that stood out to me with night 2 was Lesnar versus Omos, the Intercontinental title match, and then obviously the Undisputed title match. So half was good, half was not so good, but I mean, still good. I say it's still a very solid show for night 2. So overall, I thought it was a really good WrestleMania. Overall, I mean, you had a balancing act of good and bad, but hey, you can't win them all with them, right? So obviously, what was gonna happen after WrestleMania? I mean, you still had to answer the big question. Well, what happens with Cody? How come he couldn't finish his story? Like, what happens now that he couldn't finish like the story at WrestleMania? Him holding the Undisputed Championship over Roman Reigns. And what about Roman Reigns? Who's going to step up to face Roman now that Cody can do the job? Well, we found out the answer on Monday when Cody wanted his rematch. Paul Heyman and Roman wouldn't give it to him. And then they're supposed to have this tag team match with Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar going against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. And then you find out that Brock Lesnar F5s Cody Rhodes before the match even begins. So it seems like, yeah, they're gonna have Cody Rhodes earn the title rematch against Roman the hard way. So yeah, there were some like John Cena 2012 kind of vibes when he lost to The Rock, and I kind of see it, but you got to be careful here. Like, yeah, what was I getting with this? Cody Rhodes definitely did not face a lot of adversity in his feud with Roman going to Mania, but even though he lost, and some people are saying like, oh, his moment when he gets those world titles isn't gonna be the same. I say otherwise, because that was I'd say it's only chapter 1 of that story, because now chapter 2 is about how is he gonna handle adversity, how is he gonna handle the coping of that loss to Roman after pretty much facing no adversity of going to WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble. Now he has an opportunity. WWE has an opportunity to book Cody Rhodes into a underdog spot against Brock Lesnar and whoever he fights next. Maybe leading up to a SummerSlam rematch with Roman Reigns. Now he gets to see some of the weaknesses of Cody Rhodes, going into another, like, eventually building up to that rematch with Roman Reigns. So, honestly, yeah, like, some people may not like it, but with this thing with Brock Lesnar and Cody, but personally, I'm not the biggest Cody Rhodes fan in the world, but it makes a lot more sense for him to not win the world championships against Roman Reigns, because yeah, had he won it just like that, people would have turned on him. People would have, like, slowly and surely turned coded against him, started booing him in the months to come, because it's just the same old act. Like, it's the same old shit, just like they did with John Cena back in 2005. So, yeah, even then, WWE has to be really careful with how they book Cody Rhodes going forward. Like, you have to show some, sure, you can have Cody Rhodes, like, overcome the odds, but you have to be really careful here. Like, now you have to show some of the weaknesses, the vulnerabilities of Cody Rhodes, going into an eventual another program with Roman Reigns. Then that starts with this feud with Brock Lesnar, who will definitely push the limits of Cody. Yeah, Cody Rhodes, definitely American Nightmare, is going to be taking a trip to Suplex City, probably starting at Backlash. So, yeah, this should be an interesting one. This should be an interesting spot for Cody post WrestleMania. Yeah, overall, like I said, WrestleMania was pretty was really good. And to end off today's show, I would like to talk about my experience being at WrestleMania, because this was my second WrestleMania going live in person. I flew down from the Bay Area to Los Angeles for the weekend. Some of the things that I did beforehand, I went to the Superstore, and then I went to Koreatown, and then I think that's pretty much it. Because you didn't really have a lot of time when you only have like 2 days. You only have 2 days, but I mean, it is what it is. But as for WrestleMania itself, I had a blast. Being around the fans, seeing the matches live in person, and that WrestleMania stage, like, my God, it is like one of the best stages that I've seen. And it looked small in the pictures, but it's pretty big. It is pretty big. As for SoFi Stadium itself, it's nice. It is nice. Like exterior and interior too. But my God, it is a pain in the ass to get out. Like the crowd control, post show was bad night 1. So night 2, even though I had an early morning flight, I was just like, I want to get the hell out of here as early as possible. I mean, yeah, I want to see Roman Reigns like post-match celebration or post-match celebration and all that. But it's like, fuck. Like the crowd control for like just trying to get out of the stadium from night 1 was just like terrible. Because there's only one central escalator in the stadium. And I was like, yeah, fuck that. I was like, we need to get out of here like as soon as the last 3 count. Not only for the early morning flight that I had the next day, but it's just like, this was just absolutely ridiculous. Not even Levi Stadium has only one. Levi Stadium has more escalators than SoFi Stadium. And that even has more seats in there. It was like, come on, man. Like, it's crazy. It's insane that they do that. It's insane that they built a more than, what was it, $10 billion stadium, and yet there's only one central escalator going up and down, and it can't get everybody in there. Like we literally almost got squished at one point on night 1. So bad. Like and I was wondering, like on night 2, I was like, why didn't they open the fire exits like they did on night 1? I don't know. But I mean, either way, I still had a fun time at WrestleMania. It was a really good experience. Would I do another WrestleMania? I'm not sure. Maybe if it goes back to a one night format. Because like for as fun as WrestleMania is, it's like I still don't like the 2-night format. I still think it's too much, especially considering that I spent a good amount of money, good amount of money on just 2 nights of WrestleMania. It was just a lot. It was a lot, but it was still fun. But it's just like a lot financially. Hopefully, maybe in the future, yeah, WWE makes a lot of money on these 2-night manias, but I would just prefer to be 1 night. Hopefully, maybe in the long distant future. But I still had a good time. I still had a really good time. Oh, and I met a couple of really nice fans that were 49ers fans on night 2, and had a good conversation with them about the 49ers. So that just goes to show you that even though we're at SoFi, this is certainly not Rams' house. Even though they won a Super Bowl, it's like, yeah, they certainly don't have a LA presence as much as people like to think. So, yeah, that was WrestleMania for you. That was WrestleMania. My thoughts on it. My review of it. What'd you guys think of about this WrestleMania 39? Let me know in the comments. Let me know on social media, on Twitter, Instagram at @VeryColdLasagna. I'll try my best to get the vlogs up on the YouTube channel at some point in the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, thank you for tuning in to this review of WrestleMania 39 on episode 138 of the Very Cold Lasagna podcast. I'm your host, DylanLasagna. Thank you for tuning in. Keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And until next time, peace out.